Ah, yes. Welcome, everyone. If you're watching this live, of course, that means, as it always does, that it's Wednesday at noon Eastern Time, which is always time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, you can find us in many places. If you're on the old Facebook machine, you got the Temptations Beach Facebook page. If you want a better picture, more smooth, so you can see us more clearly, because this is really what you come to see is this right here, all of this and all this over here. Then you can do that on YouTube. It's the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel. And of course, we're on Twitter/X, whatever you still call it, as well, at Hemptations. I'm Stoner Jesus. I do various things on the interwebs. He is Beach. He is high above the Hemptations in Sharonville, Ohio, at the Hemp Quarters. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Hemptations?
Summer is here.
Indeed.
We're in the middle of March and summer is here. No, this is our what do we? I think we are now in our third fake spring here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Thanks everybody for watching the High Noon Hemp Show today. This is what we're calling the Saint Hempies Day episode. It's all green. We're all green. I do have green on this shirt. You will see later my entire green outfit on the "What Are You Wearing" segment of the show, of course. And remember, everyone, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. That being said, let's go ahead and let's read our iHemp Revolution Pledge of Allegiance, which goes, I pledge allegiance to the hemp fields of America and to the soil in which is planted, one seed under the sun, with responsibility, sustainability, and thrivability for all. It's true. Our favorite green. Our favorite green. So let's go ahead and just jump into the product spotlights. All being green items today. The first one, if you've got your THCA flower or maybe some CBD flower, CBG of CBN flower, whatever it may be, you want to roll it up. How about some Zigzag organic king size papers?
What is going on here?
They're coming. I don't
know.
Oh no!
What?
What? I don't know.
What is happening?
They're invisible. They're not green.
Come on.
Maybe
That's
we
very
won't.
Annoying.
Maybe
what is happening here?
This is new. Just so everybody knows, this has never happened before
on
the High Noon Hemp Show.
It says something about virus scanners are temporarily unavailable. I don't need virus scanners.
I don't even know what to make of any of that.
That is so very annoying.
Picture a box of Zigzag green. These zigzags come in a green pack. So picture those in your head, if you will. Let's see if I can.
Hey, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Maybe
now we're working.
Hey, there they are.
Emails give me problems.
Saint Hempy is looking down at us, saying, "Come on, guys, what's going on here? Let's get this green started. Let's get this green party started." So anyway, if you need to get your green party started, and you need some zigzags or some papers, there they are. Zigzag green king size organic hemp papers, even. So you have to love that. This bag, which is hanging in Sharonville, again, most of the products that I do show on the show are here in the store. I don't know. I don't know who made it. Doesn't have a label, but it's one of those question mark products. But it is very much green, and so if you're looking for a green bag to carry around on Sunday for Saint Hempy's Day, then there you have it. It's right there on the wall. How about some Satori briefs? These are, you may notice, kind of the XXL. That's probably one of the only reasons why they might still be on the shelf. But good green stripes. If you're going for that, Where's Waldo? And I have the. It's funny, not that I would wear these out, but I actually have the Satori. These are made by Satori. What we call a wife beater, sleeveless shirt, jersey-looking shirt, and it's striped like this. And I always call it my. Where's Hempo? Is what when I go out I say, where's Hempo? So fun stuff there. Um, and then this last picture is actually these are like multiple selection of greens, and these are actually the women's T-shirts that we have in Sharonville on the shelf. And as you can see, 3 different shades of green. So you can be bright, you can be in between, or you can be dark green. Kind of any way you want to do it there. Um, and by no coincidence is that purple T-shirt in the back there, because as everyone knows, we are purple and green. Green beating out for my favorite colors just slightly to purple, and only because I like all shades of green. But there are some shades of purple that I don't like as much as other shades. But I like every shade of green that I have ever seen or have. I enjoy. So there you have it from the store. Now the one from my door, which I've actually been picked up and reading recently. This is my copy of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. This was published. This particular copy was made in the 50s. This cover is made out of hemp. I have not verified, and I talked about this, I believe. I have not verified that the paper may have hemp in it. The paper was specifically designed, and says in the back of the book, this special paper was made just for this printing of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. Just so you know, he does mention on this particular copy, and I should have actually copied down the name, uh, is page 29. He says, "Land of wheat, beef, pork, land of wool and hemp." And he's describing the United States at the time. And so I have not found any other mention of hemp in the book, but he does mention hemp in this in Leaves of Grass, and so good stuff there. So there you have it on the product spotlight here on the High Noon Hemp Show. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, all green on the St. Hempy's Day episode of the High Noon Hemp Show. And now,
Now, obviously, word of mouth travels, and I'm sure many of you are here just for this event. It's the event of the entire show. There's great stuff everywhere. There's great infotainment, if you will, from start to finish. But this is the crown jewel in the middle of the show. It's what everybody comes for. It's what the Guinness World Records is eventually someday down the line, if they're done with all the crap they're doing now, going to recognize as a very important event, a weekly event in the world of records and hemp and entertainment and all of that stuff. It's the Beachwear segment. Because if you didn't know, if you're just joining us, Beach owns a lot of hemp clothing. A lot. And we talk about it every single week. We see it all the time. For over 5 years, we've been building this case for Beach's massive hemp collection going in the Guinness World Records. And one day we will be there. But until then, I just ask Beach a simple question every week, and he tells you all about it. When I say, "What are you wearing, Beach?"
that's true. If you're curious, what are you wearing, Beach, for St. Hempy's Day? This would definitely be something that I will probably be wearing close to on Sunday, depending on, it will be green for sure. But here it is, just about as green. Everything I have on obviously has green on it or in it or with it. My hat, and these are some of my favorite hats, because these are the Flex Fit hats. These are basically kind of fitted hats, which I love. All in all, my button down is from the Hemp Company out of Canada. My T-shirt is Vital Hemp, and this is celebrating NOCO, which is coming up in April out in Colorado. If you want to go to the largest #1 hemp expo in the world, I don't know about the world, but maybe at least the United States, I'm sure, probably the world, as far as the diversity of hemp that you will see there, then you should definitely check out NOCO. I think I will talk about that a little later in my events part when we're wrapping up the show. My pants are INI cargo pants. As you can see there, my hemp pen is the only non-green thing. Um, Now, I could have searched because I do actually have a hemp pen that I put a green ink cartridge in at some point or another. I don't think this is the one. I could lie. I could tell a little fib and say it is, but I don't think it is. But I do have a Green Springs Technology pen that has green ink in it. I also have one that has purple ink. So anyway, those are a pair of those Satori briefs that I showed earlier. Solid green. I have my uh, 11 leaf clover socks on. Just so you can see there, those are also from Satori on my 11 leaf clover, or yeah, I'm going to call it that, 11 leaf clover socks. And then one of my favorite pairs of Adidas, because I have never seen another pair of hemp Adidas designed in this particular design. Um, and I don't even know. I should know what the style is called, but very unique. It's a very unique style of Adidas shoes, and so there you have it. If you're wondering, Beach, what are you wearing on St. Hempy's Day? Now you know. A lot of green, a lot of green, all green. Nobody's pinching this guy.
That's right.
No doubt about that, for sure. All right. Well, we're now this trailer for this movie, Hemp is Here. This is more on the um, so maybe we're having our first fake summer actually instead of spring. It's like summer weather now almost. Not quite because it's still chilly in the morning, so it's still spring. But this is very summer feeling. So let's go ahead and check out the trailer for Hemp is Here.
Here.
Hemp
There you go.
is here, and I believe, I think there may be been one picture out of all those pictures that didn't have something green in it. So every picture I watched, every picture, and of course, very very difficult to take a picture of Hemptations or in Hemptations without getting something green, and so there was something green in every single one of those pictures for that movie trailer. Which of course I made 5-7 years ago, so we don't have all those stores anymore. But I still love those. I need to get back to making some new ones. I keep saying that, but I just love all the old ones that I made so much that making new ones just seems crazy. Um, so anyway, all right, let's get on with the news. We're going to start the news with a little Irish hemp history. Now, just so you know, if you are in Ireland, you want to get involved. There's a couple that you have the Ireland National Hemp Industry, um, one group of people, helping move the hemp along. You also have the Hemp Cooperative of Ireland, and I think, and I didn't come across them, and I'm kind of surprised, but I almost feel like there's an Ireland. I feel like there's one other Ireland hemp uh, association that's pretty big over there, and so it has a very long history. I think the furthest back documented history is a monk mentioning hemp being grown like in the mid 800s, like 848, if I remember correctly, on that date. And then, of course, they were grown all the way up to the 1900s under British rule. The Vikings have a huge documented history of hemp. I mentioned the the museum center here in Cincinnati did a big Viking exhibition once, and I just happened to be watching the news, and they were talking about it. And they had these, um, you could go up to the computer and you could pick out like your hemp clothing or your Viking clothing, your Viking outfit. And one of the options was a hemp shirt, a hemp pair of pants, and so it was pretty neat to see that, as part of the interactive display on the Viking. And of course, I'm sure that they were using hemp in their sales and whatnot. Hemp was not indigenous to Ireland. It moved there just like he kind of, did that. I talked about this, kind of came out of the Tibetan Plateau, went to China and India kind of first, I think, and then eventually, thousands of years later, it moved its way into Europe and became very much a European lifestyle. Thank you very much. We love that you're watching. We appreciate every single person that watches the show, no matter where you are in the world. So thank you for that. In the 16th century, settlers were encouraged to put aside land for hemp. And this is very common, um, you know, uh, back in those days, honestly. In the 19th century, the use of drained bogs was proposed to grow hemp to fight Napoleon. In the 19th century, or I'm sorry, in 1866, a pamphlet circulated stating hemp had the ability to revolutionize the Irish economy. Okay, so that was early 19th century or mid 19th century. Irish rebel Robert Emmet. I don't know anything about him, but apparently he's a big name as a rebel. We love our rebels, other than the fact that poor Robert met his demise being hung by a hemp rope, which isn't the greatest. Isn't the greatest. And that was back in 1803, documented 200 years ago. During the 1916 Rising, hemp bales were used during the fighting, and hemp seed was looted by the civilians. Now, there's actually a Civil War battle that here in the United States, it was called the Battle of the Hemp Bales. I believe it happened in Missouri, if I remember. It's kind of this really weird place in Missouri or something. But this is where they used hemp bales to defend themselves against the invaders, which I would only guess was the same thing that was going on over in Ireland in the 1920s. Or 1916, the kind of pre-World War One time period. Um, so that's pretty interesting. In the 1920s, War of Independence, hemp was highly sought after from Russia. And of course, I mentioned, just I think last week's show about how Thomas Jefferson was, this is back in the Revolutionary days, but even all the way up until the 1900s, Russian hemp was still quite prevalent and obviously needed in the War of Independence back in the 1920s. So I guess that was post World War One or part of. I don't know honestly how that all happened. I don't know that history that well. Um, Growing returned in the 90s, just like it did in France. Or no, I mean, became popular, and it's always been grown in France. France was the only country that didn't stop growing it. But the Irish started growing hemp again in the 1990s. But in 2017, only 500 acres or so was being grown by 17 farmers. Now, I did read that in 1 year, from 2017 to 2018, they did increase those numbers by 200%. So I don't know how much hemp is being grown in Ireland these days, but I'm sure that it's quite a bit because again they have a long history of using hemp for all its purposes, one way or another. So there you have a little Irish history of hemp, um, because important. It's important in these. It's all over the world. All over the world has history, whether it's maybe only 300 years old, like here in the Americas, or 10,000 years old in the Fertile Crescent area of the planet. Um, so this is good. This is good. You guys know how much I love promoting the idea of hemp food. Um, so it looks like Protein Industries Canada will be working with Burcon Nutriscience, HPS Foods, um, and Ingredients. Okay, I'm sorry, HPS Food and Ingredients, and Puritos, um, with a $9 million investment to make hemp and sunflower ingredients. And they are going to be making everything from baking applications, beverages, and meat alternatives. So look for again, and I'm really surprised that there aren't a lot more hemp foods coming from Canada. Canada is the largest grower of grain, um, probably in the world, when it comes to grain for food products, and so it really kind of surprises me. And there's probably all kinds of, and maybe they're just maybe they're not making their way to the United States as much. But I do have a new Manitoba product to talk about later in the show, which I'm kind of excited about and really want to find on the shelves because this is something that I eat on a semi-regular basis, one way or another. And so hopefully soon we're going to be inundated with hemp food products in on every degree, um, one way or another, from this investment in moving forward there. So someone else got a bunch of money, and again, Oregon State is just blowing it up. I feel like I talk about something going on at Oregon State University every other week because their hemp program there, they actually have a global hemp initiative center on the campus or associated with or close to the campus of Oregon State University. I would say that if you really want to go and study hemp and get a degree in hemp, um, then Oregon State's where you need to go. They just got a $10 million grant to work with 13, and I love this as much as anything else. They're going to work with 13 indigenous tribes, and they're going to be developing manufacturing capabilities for materials and products made from hemp. And so this is all, um, I think, mostly fiber. Again, I think they're gonna work with hempcrete materials. Uh, they didn't really mention the food aspect, which is kind of interesting, but this is more byproducts related to the fiber and the hurd, the shiv, outside part of the stalk. And so we're gonna be seeing some, I believe, some unbelievable advancements in technology and manufacturing and processing, um, hopefully for hundreds or thousands of hemp products, coming out of Oregon State University. So again, if you're really thinking about getting a true education uh, in the hemp world, then I believe that Oregon State, I love OSU. It's a different OSU. But now I can love that OSU um, for their hemp programs, one way or another. And again, I really just kind of follow OSU football here. But so anyway, yeah. So check out Oregon State University if you're even considering going to college, and you want to get a hemp education. I truly believe that Oregon State University is the place to do it. From everything that they seem to be doing there on a regular basis and completely promoting this industry for basically everything non CBD, non flower related, one way or another. Um, so check out this picture. This is actually hemp insulated siding. So how about we talk a lot about building a house with hemp, but how about some siding? And this is actually being this is a project by a couple different companies that are all kind of working together to develop this particular product. Um, and this is going to be for residential retrofit applications, and it will provide. And what they're saying is a 15 to 25% HVAC energy savings. So once again, um, showing, and this is going to be more on the composite side of things, obviously, like a vinyl siding, but it's a hemp siding. And so this is kind of more on the composite side of things, but also still showing how they are developing this to be environmentally friendly in a sense that, it can help keep your house a little warmer in the winter and help keep your house a little cooler in the summer, for that matter. So you put this on the outside of your hempcrete walls, and your insulation rating is going to be off the charts, and it's all eco-friendly. All can be grown in um, 5 months or so, basically. And then again, as this starts to break down, um, it's not sending little pieces of vinyl into the ground. It's just sending the hemp into the ground, and so it's again safer for the soil around your house and all those things. We can't wait to actually see this actually being made. This is again a project that's being started by a major building company with working with some other uh, hemp, specifically hemp related building companies. So more housing stuff. Again, as soon as we get hemp approved for load bearing, we won't even need to have a wood structure somehow anymore. We just build the whole thing out of, I mean, the houses will be so much more environmentally friendly. I do have a couple houses I'm going to close the show with today just to show you some more projects because there's stuff being built more and more every single day out of hemp, and hemp siding. This is a newer one. This is a new one. I haven't seen hemp siding yet. That's what we like to do is find stuff that's never been seen and show it to everybody that it can be done. Hemp can do it. Hemp can do it all for the most part. I mean, it really, it can at least do about 80% of all. There might be 20% of things hemp can't do, but there's 80% of things that hemp can do. Can do. Uh, so that's for all my Rick and Morty fans out there. Can do. Um, so here's that food product I was talking about earlier, Manitoba Harvest, who makes a huge line of expanding their line. This is what they're calling their Super Seed oatmeal, and I definitely like my oatmeal for its heart healthy principles. You make it out of hemp, it's probably even exponentially more heart healthy somehow than it was before. It lowers cholesterol, all those good things, and of course they're making it out of my of course, the most common probably flavors of oatmeal, but they're going to do a plain maple and brown sugar and an apple and cinnamon, which again, I love my oatmeal. Nature's Path, and I don't know if they still do anymore, but the big company Nature's Path had a hemp oatmeal for a while, and I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to go back and check the shelves again, see if I can find it at one of my grocery stores or something. But I really look forward to seeing this on the shelves at my grocery store, or possibly even trying to get it into the stores at some point or another, one way or another. All right, so I know I've shown some Grotto headphones before, but they're making a new series, and these are super expensive, honestly, for headphones. It seems odd, to spend as much for headphones anymore. But one way or another, this is part of their reference series Hemp, and they are in full production. Before these were limited availability. And they may be the same ones I showed years ago when they were first making them, but they are going to full blown production with these. They're going to be sold everywhere. And ironically, I don't know if it's ironic or um, just just the way it should be. It's not the way it should be because they're too expensive. But they're actually going to sell. They're going to retail in the states for $420. Um, so
Wow.
you want a really expensive pair of headphones that have hemp in them, there they are. Uh, just for reference, the headphones that I wear do have hemp fabric on the top, and mine are made by Marley, and Marley um, audio products tend to have hemp in them as much as possible. I can't. Oh, here's my because I have my little Marley um, hemp speaker, which is wrapped in hemp. Is whoops, let's go this way, which is wrapped in hemp as well. It's not green, so I don't know if I should really be showing it or not. But anyway, so if you're looking for hemp headphones or speakers, Marley is a good one. Grotto is obviously like they feel like they're great because they are expensive one way or another. Um, here's a little joke for you. What do you call a Polish man who sold his CBD business and then started a hemp fiber business? You racist. A genius is what you call him. A genius. So um, I don't have names or companies, but apparently back in 2018, a Polish man sold his CBD business, and then he took that money, and because he signed a no compete, okay, he signed a no compete in the CBD industry, okay, he still wanted to be in the hemp industry, so he started a hemp fiber business. So I'll have to do maybe a little bit more research and find out, um, what products he's making or what he's really working on. But um, I think it's quite brilliant to sell a CBD company so you can start, or sell a hemp company so you can start a hemp company. And again, you know, if he sells his fiber company with a no compete, he'll probably just move on to like a grain hemp company. There's so many different directions he could go still, and not be competing with the original companies that he has started. So it's quite brilliant. Whoever thought the Polish were not smart, they got it wrong. They got it wrong. And of course, that all comes from the '80s, like completely sexist and racist and stereotyping jokes. I mean, like the '80s were like full,
Yeah.
from blonde jokes to Polish jokes to making fun of just like everyone. Uh, I don't know. I'm not. I'm not going to make any comment about the fact that almost the entire '80s, we had a Republican president, and we also had the highest amount of concentration of blonde jokes and Polish jokes and making fun of everyone else. I try not to be political here. It's just correlation, causation. It's hard to say. um, so Florida did pass its It's it's banned D8 and D10. That's the two I saw specifically. But it is also limited the amount of D9 that you can have in its products. And from my understanding, this limitation of D9 is going to seriously mess up the CBD industry in Florida. They're gonna, from what everybody, from the farmers to the retailers, everyone is talking about how ridiculous this is. Um, one sense of Florida is that they're decently cannabis friendly, but they honestly they hate industrial hemp. They just keep passing these laws against industrial hemp products and banning industrial hemp products that they're really just blown away. And the worst of it is, my understanding is they're affecting the number two CBD market in all of the United States. So they have the number two market for this product, and they're passing laws to make this product go backwards. So that all the people in Florida that enjoy second most sales in the entire country of CBD products are in Florida, and that could all go away. I mean, the way they're doing it, basically, my understanding is you'll probably have to you'll only be able to get CBD as an isolate, um, as far as products go, whether it's tinctures or gummies or whatever they want to put it in, because of this THC limit per item or packaging, which will probably make full spectrum CBD products go away, um, or just make it so they're making it so hard that most companies will just take the THC out, so they don't have to worry about whether they're breaking this stupid law or not. So DeSanto hasn't signed it yet, but I'm sure he will somehow. If you're in Florida, go scream at the governor's office right now. Like, call them up as soon as the show is over and tell them that you are completely against this bill and it is going to completely mess up things in Florida for all the people. And again, this is something that's going to affect the older generation of people that flock to Florida to live,
Yeah.
one way or another, more than anything. In all honesty, that's who it's going to affect the most. All of a sudden, there's those that older generation that is accepted and uses hemp because the CBD because it's freaking great. I always said that our customers got exponentially older the more CBD products that we have, and it's true, because it helps so many people, and definitely people of older ages, one way or another. And Florida's just going backwards, just going crazy. Um, the best thing that can happen is because they banned Delta 8 and Delta 10 is that sets up a challenge instead of just making it 21 and older, which they could have done. 21 and older, fine if that's what you really want to do with this intoxicating hemp. Um, Leave the THC levels alone, in all honesty, because they're fine. They're not getting anybody high. They're just there as trace amounts to begin with. Um, then, you know, but no. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It looks like Arizona and Iowa are now the latest states that are going after intoxicating hemp, from what I've seen. Um, and so, we'll see. It just seems like, once again, this is going to be the year of states doing stupid things with intoxicating hemp that they could just leave it alone. Including the state of Ohio, which we haven't seen. This new bill that was proposed here in the state of Ohio. I think it's getting so much backlash that it may not even go through. And all they're trying to really do is put age restrictions on intoxicating hemp, which again is the buzzword of 2024, intoxicating hemp, or buzzwords, because it's two words. But either way, every week I'm seeing more and more states that are having an issue with this. And of course, it's not going to help that all over the internet this week I came across articles that were talking about 10% of high schoolers are using Delta 8 in a recent study. And to me, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent, parents should be lucky that they're not using Delta 9, because again, they can readily get Delta 9, which is a lot more intoxicating than Delta 8. And once again, Delta 8 is just going to help with anxiety issues and make kids calmer. They're not really getting like super high off of this stuff, and they're just because you don't get super high. Yes, you feel it. It has euphoric feeling or side effects, physical side effects, I should say. Like CBD doesn't have any physical side effects. Delta 8 has a little bit of physical side effects. And of course, once again, I'm not encouraging any kids out there to do this, but you know, um, I want to know, what was the percentage of kids that use alcohol? What's the percentage of kids that actually use Delta 9? Because again, if only 10% of the high schoolers out there are using uh, Delta 8, is probably lower than the other things they can be doing. Um, and once again, much safer. Much safer. Uh, and once again, I'm not encouraging any behavior anywhere, but any parent that thinks they'd, rather their kid drink alcohol, or not rather, but, I mean, if you have a choice, you have a choice. And again, we're seeing some studies as far as developmental issues. It didn't seem to affect my IQ in high school. I still graduated with 4.0, top 10% of my class, while I was playing basketball, while I was having a part-time job. Um, and but that's neither here nor there. That's not everybody. But if I have one argument against kids or teenagers using cannabis, it is that maybe it does have developmental issues. Well, that's science that's really still hasn't been proven. But anyway, um, now that study has come out, I definitely see more and more states using that um, to try to ban Delta 8. But or age restriction, which is fine. Again, we don't never have sell Delta 8 or Delta 10, Delta 9 products to anyone under the age of 18. CBD, yes. I'll argue all day long um, that there is no reason to keep CBD out of the hands of any kid of any age if it can benefit their life. The whole reason, one of the main reasons CBD is where it's at, is because of Charlotte Figi, um, who Charlotte's Web. They developed the first high CBD cannabis flower and bred the THC out of that for her medicine. Because she was up to 50 seizures a day before she started using CBD. I think that she had 5 or 7 extra years of a better life because of CBD as a child, using it daily until she passed away. And so I truly believe that CBD should not have age limits. I believe it's, and again, this is my opinion. This is not medical fact. The FDA has not approved these statements, as I said at the beginning of the show. This is just the things that I know from everything that I know about CBD, and that is that it is completely safe for any age person to use if it can benefit their life. And again, anxiety and depression and all these things um, are like really high in teenage kids right now. And so, and I think Delta 8 would help with that too, honestly. Delta 9, maybe not so much. Like Delta 9 is not good for anxiety, honestly. I believe that. But Delta 8 and CBD, CBN, all those are really good for, and this is our customer feedback. This is my personal use, personal knowledge of all these things. And so to limit that, to limit those, yeah, and again, I get it with the Delta 8 because it does have euphoric, it does have physical side effects. Again, I don't know that those are so bad that someone under the age of 18 matters. But, that doesn't mean that parents can't buy that for their kids and then allow them to use it at home and whatnot, because it can benefit them one way or another. Um, we love our hemp clothing. Cone Denim, which is one of the bigger denim producers in the entire world, has launched its U.S. hemp collection. They're going to be working with Bastcore, so check them out too, to boast hemp use in material, not just jeans, but I think that, and this is I was just talking about this last week, um, but developing manufacturing facilities that can then weave hemp into different material, and so everything from hopefully hemp silk to hemp burlap, whatever. But mostly I think working trying to get that higher percentage hemp t-shirt to feel like the t-shirt people want it to feel like. That's like a state of mind, but it's kind of the same state of mind as the fact that if you're going to make a hemp burger, it's got to feel and taste and have the consistency of hamburger if you really want meat eaters to eat it, and enjoy it. It's kind of the same with the hemp t-shirt, which is why we tend to blend the hemp t-shirts. The most common is 55-45. I'm guessing that 90% of my hemp shirts are that 55-45. I've got some 100% hemp shirts. I think I have one hemp shirt that for some reason was like 66% cotton and 33% hemp. One that I know of. And so I do believe that developing a 100% hemp t-shirt that has the consistency of feel of a t-shirt that people want is going to be huge for the industry. Do we stick with the 45 or 55-45 for now? Yeah. And then maybe we just keep boosting it. So maybe we come up with a 65-35 blend that feels the way it wants to. We just keep bringing the hemp up and taking the cotton out, until the cotton is gone, and until most of the material weaves are made from 100% hemp fiber. But this is going to be, again, big for the advancement of hemp material for all its purposes. It can make hemp linen, which is normally made out of flax. If you didn't know, once again, hemp silk. It can be woven as smooth as silk. I have hemp silk slash silk, hemp/silk pillowcases. Um, all the way up to obviously canvas, which the word canvas comes from cannabis, um, and replacing, uh, getting rid of, which is just crazy, all the cotton canvas that's being made and make it out of hemp because it should be made out of hemp, and it would be 4 to 6 times stronger if we did. which is what we should be doing. Right now I'm sitting on a hemp canvas chair. My chair has been redone with hemp canvas, and I've been sitting on this chair every day for 10 years, and it shows no wear whatsoever as to that hemp canvas. So, uh, good on them. Good on them. That's what we need: more hemp clothing in the world, and more hemp material. Period. No matter what it is, curtains and sheets and pillowcases and towels, clothing. It's endless. Where we should have hemp, where we need hemp, and so we can get rid of cotton, which is the leading producer of all agricultural crops in the world. There is no other crop in the world that uses more chemical from the time it's planted to the time that it's sown SEWN, um, than cotton. And the water production for cotton to make cotton into any material is ridiculous. And hemp literally takes a third of the acreage to grow the same amount of cotton. And not maybe a third, maybe not a third. I think it was like, if I remember recently, 71 acres of hemp is the same of 161 acres. So at least half. Half. It takes half the acreage to grow the same amount of hemp to the comparable cotton field. Again, we could get rid of all the cotton fields, grow twice as much hemp as we need to replace the cotton. Boom, done. And at the same time, that hemp will probably take all those evil chemicals out of the ground, because hemp is a phytoremediator, which means its roots go down deep into the ground and pull out toxins. Pull out toxins. Yeah. I say it all the time, and every time I say it, I'm like, geez, oh, Pete, what the heck? Here's a very pretty cool, unique hemp product. How about a lamp? Okay, this is Norwegian Studio, and I'm sure that I'm not pronouncing this correct. Snøhetta, Snøhetta, Snohetta, and they're actually working with the lighting brand, and I know I'm not going to get this right. Atalogy, Light, Lycton. It's kind of Lycton, Lyktan, Lycton. To make this uh, possibly the greatest name for a hemp product yet that I have seen, but they're actually calling it the Super Duper Tube Lamp. So not only is this a great idea, but the name is brilliant. Super Duper Tube Lamp. Um, I want one just so I can tell people I own a Super Duper Tube Lamp, one way or another. So hopefully these will go into mass production and make their way to the United States. Um, it's made from hemp and sugarcane, and is also compostable. So you take the light bulb out and throw it into the backyard, throw it into your compost pile when you're done with it. And again, it'll last a lifetime, not being weathered. And so, you know, it's not like it's going to start breaking down and you actually have to get rid of it. But the fact of the matter is if you're ever ready to get rid of it, it's compostable. Your lamp would be compostable. Um, and so it's just another brilliant idea. Again, if you use LED lights in there, it's super earth friendly, even fluorescent. Honestly, because fluorescent lights last so long, they're definitely more earth friendly than incandescent lights, even though uh, getting rid of fluorescent bulbs is not the greatest, because they actually gas out a little bit when you throw them away. But again, the longevity is much better, and they take less energy. than incandescent. And then on top of that, LED takes even less energy. LED is the future of lighting, as far as earth friendly and efficient. Uh, so there you have it, the super duper tube lamp being made in Norway. So hopefully to be on a big bulk hardware store close to you soon. We'll see. We'll see. Um, in an article about, and again, basically the article's title was "Using this Earth-Friendly Oil to Remove Makeup." In Cannabis MD, which is where I found this, basically they recommend just using slightly warm hemp oil, just a couple drops. They said just a couple drops. It's a couple drops. You could you could warm up our CBD hemp oil, which would be twice as beneficial to your skin as just hemp oil would be, especially on your face, because the CBD would act as a anti-inflammatory. So any puffiness and wrinkles and all that stuff, CBD should be good for that. And again, the reason that they talk about the hemp oil being so good to remove makeup is because it doesn't seal the skin. It absorbs all those things I've always told everybody about as far as external, make it great for this. But basically, I say just warm up a couple drops of massage oil and rotate in a circular motion, and then wipe off that excess makeup. And basically, to remove mascara, same things. Close your eyes. This is very important. They said that. Close your eyes. I'm sure women know that. Close their eyes to do this. And men too. I'm not saying men don't wear mascara. I'm not trying to be sexist here. Um, and basically apply a similar motion to your eyelashes and then wipe away any of that excess oil, which will help get rid of any and all that makeup. It's not good to leave the makeup on unless your makeup is hemp based, because then it's not sealing your skin. Most hemp or most makeup, I think, is petrochemically based or iron oxide. I've seen some interesting things when it comes to makeup, but not probably not great to leave on your skin one way or another. All right, we're going to close the show here with a couple hemp houses. This first hemp house is, and this one was built, I don't know, I think I saw maybe like 5 years ago in Asheville. Again, I talk a lot about the Asheville house because that's where the first hemp house in the United States was built. And apparently, there's no holding them back. I mentioned it last week. There is a house on Airbnb, a hemp house on Airbnb that you can rent in Asheville, kind of in town. This one is just unbelievably beautiful. Like I could totally see myself living in this hemp house, from their stacked garden beds to their house off to the side there. Either way, but this is definitely a hemp house that I am envious of because I would love to live there. Asheville is freaking beautiful. Um, and so this is just really, really neat as far as a hemp house goes. And then this other hemp house is actually being built in Quebec. As you may notice from the roof, which is pitched very steep on one side so that it can take the snow. And again, kind of plain, but not really. But the whole, you can see the walls are all hemp. This is an insulation thing, because they will not have to work as hard to keep their hemp house in Quebec warm in the winters as some other types of material that you could build out of in the winter, because hempcrete is an unbelievable insulator. Again, it's just touted for its ability to keep the warm in the winter and keep the cool in the summer. Um, and of course, once again, it behooves me to mention the fact that it's antimicrobial, antibacterial, um, cannot catch fire, all the other good things, all the other healthy, safe things that you want in a building material, and also lighter. And so once again, the impact on the environment is great in every way. Your environment, the planet's environment, it's all better. It's all better. And again, it's a renewable resource, and will be the top construction eco-friendly material in 5 years. And it will be the choice. When you go and you say, "Hey, I want to build a environmentally friendly house," if your builder doesn't suggest hemp, then they are behind. And again, it's going to take us a little while, but it is, and I've said this before, one of the, if not the most popular subjects of all things that I talk about when I go out in public. Hempcrete is one thing that people are really, really intrigued about and really, really want to work with. Um, I don't know where we're at here in Cincinnati, but an architect tried to get a permit to build a hemp house in Cincinnati, and they denied him. And again, this was years before. This was definitely before it was approved by 49 out of 50 states as a building material, which only happened in the last year or two when it came to hempcrete. And so, once again, the only thing you can't do with it is load bearing. And I almost want to say it was Oregon State University students that came up with I'm going to have to go back and look, but they came up with an actual load bearing recipe for hempcrete. I haven't seen much come out of that yet because maybe they're still testing. Maybe didn't go as far as it could have. I will actually check back into where we're at with that. But it was probably at least a year ago that I talked about on the show that there was a university somewhere in the country that had come up with what they believed was a load bearing acceptable recipe for hempcrete, and that will be the game changer. Everybody wants to use it. Everybody's still using it. You just got to spray it in between your frame, or in the roof between the frame, which is your load bearing frame, um, which is funny because they still trust wood to be load bearing, wood structures to be load bearing, um, but not hempcrete. So, uh, again, if it's a durability issue, there's a 600-year-old hempcrete bridge, or at least the buttresses of the bridge in France, that never fell apart. And so, if we could build the entire house out of that, you're talking about a house that would last for hundreds of years, as opposed to houses now that don't last. In modern houses, I don't think will be lasting hundreds of years. Honestly, we'll see. That's a whole different subject, I suppose. Um, I think the next thing we're also going to see with hempcrete is more development of um, hempcrete bricks. But again, that's kind of that I think also goes on the load bearing part of it. Whereas we're going to have to develop bricks that are in fact can be load bearing, and so you can just build the entire structure out of hempcrete bricks. And I have not seen bricks like regular sized bricks, but we are seeing cinder block sized bricks, and I've seen everything from uh, hemp bricks or hemp blocks that look like cinder blocks. I've seen hemp blocks that kind of look like Legos, so you can put them together, um, that way. And so, that is another part of the development of hempcrete that we're seeing all over as well. And then, of course, I did an article or did some news about a 3D printed hempcrete house, which I don't know how, because again, they were printing the walls, like the whole outside of it, out of hempcrete, which kind of goes against the load bearing principle. And I don't, I'm not a construction expert when it comes to these things, but I would think that if you printed all four walls with hempcrete, that would have something to do with load bearing. But they did it. And I need to check into the 3D printed house. We'll start making notes on my notepad here, and the things that I always say I'm gonna go back and check on. Uh, and and so again, but I do think that once we get that load bearing hempcrete developed, it will be a game changer, because I think then all the concrete, all the construction companies um, won't shy away from it. They won't think, well, if we can't use it for load bearing, then should we even mess with it? Blah 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 blah. But I think that definitely will be a game changer in the industry. And again, any construction company right now that doesn't immediately start offering a hempcrete mix is going to lose out, because more people want it. The demand is huge, and I think once again we're dealing with a supply issue. Um, and so if we can catch up with that demand with the supply, and these companies say, hey, we should be doing this. There's no reason why we can't show up with a big hempcrete truck, and spray in the hempcrete for insulation or whatnot. Again, obviously, the problem is you probably can't do the floor um, uh, of the house in hempcrete, because that is where the load bears. And so I think that's another whole thing. Part of construction is you can't do a hempcrete floor, maybe. um, I would almost guess that that's not true in France, who started to really use hempcrete in the 90s. And so I think that there's probably some research there to show that these buildings that France built, and all these places that started using hempcrete in the 90s, where are they at? Well, I don't. There's no news on them falling down or having issues. And the residential building in France, which was actually, I think, a low income type of residential building, huge structure, um, made out of hempcrete. The residents there truly believe that they have less heating bills in the winter and less cooling bills in the summer. And France gets both cold, just like kind of here. France gets both pretty cold weather, um, but it gets can have super hot summers, one way or another. So, just just an amazing principle uh, that should be utilized more. All right. Well, we've only got a couple. This is, of course, another got a couple events that I found. Not too much going on. April 2nd, first Tuesday of April, I will be at the medical marijuana meetup at Mad Tree here in Cincinnati from 8 to 10. This is something, once again, that I go to as one of the hemp representatives. When people want to talk about hemp, and there's always somebody there that actually wants to talk about hemp, whether it's the hempcrete or hemp clothing or hemp food or any of those things. There's usually someone there that really wants to know about it. And then April 4th through the 7th is a hempcrete certification at where? Oregon State University, of course. So, so if you don't want to enroll at Oregon State University to be a part of their hemp program, their hemp initiative, they have a building dedicated, a center dedicated. I don't know if it's actually built out of hemp yet or not, um, but maybe just want to spend 3 days at Oregon State University, because they obviously know more about hemp than like any other university, I truly believe. Um, then you can be involved in that. And so whether you're in Oregon or you just want to travel to Oregon, which is, like, again, probably one of the most beautiful states in all of the United States, because there is a lot of nature still in Oregon. You can get your hempcrete certification from, again, the leading school the leading university in the United States, I think, when it comes to hemp research and hemp education. And I would only guess just Google hempcrete certification or Oregon State hemp or something, and I'm sure you will get more information if you want to get to that. Um, and I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen more hempcrete schools or like 3 day, 5 day projects. And I think that once we get closer to summer or whatnot, I think I'll start seeing more, and I will let everybody know if there is a hempcrete education somewhere near them, no matter where they are in the world, for that matter. If I see it, you will know here on the High Noon Hemp Show. Thanks everybody for watching. We will be off next week, so we're gonna take a week off to prepare for the season finale of season. I think we're up to season 21.
That's right.
Here on that's right. He's season 21. The season finale will be in 2 weeks. So just let everybody know that we will not be here next week. We're going to take a scheduled week off, which we rarely do if everyone's paying attention. So we get to do that every once in a while because we enjoy that too. But we try not to take any weeks off because there's always something. That does mean that in 2 weeks when we come back, we will have like probably a double the show for the season finale. So it's a cliffhanger
There you go.
here on the end of episode 11 to make sure you're here for the season finale because it's going to be a double decker. It's going to be a double hemper, I like to say. So remember, everybody celebrate the green holiday responsibly. Find yourself some green hemp beer if you can. I don't know of anywhere that has green or hemp beer, more or less hemp green beer, but that would be pretty cool. If I had it to offer, I might even do a celebration here. No. But either way, there you have it. Thanks again, everybody, for watching this week's episode of the High Noon Hemp Show, episode 249. So we'll be back for episode 250. Season finale of season 21 here on the High Noon Hemp Show. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having hemptations.
See you all in 2 weeks.